4. Which two processes take place to produce proteins? A. Transcription and translation. B. Photosynthesis and cellular respiration. C. Mitosis and meiosis. D. DNA replication and transcription. 5. Which statement describes a DNA molecule? A. It contains two types of nitrogenous bases. B. It is single-stranded. C. It is made completely of protein. D. It has a double helix shape. 6. Which statement describes DNA but not RNA? A. It follows base pairing rules. B. It has four types of nitrogenous bases. C. It is involved in making proteins. D. It is the genetic blueprint of an organism. 7. Which pathway correctly represents protein synthesis? A. DNA to RNA to proteins. B. RNA to DNA to proteins. C. DNA to proteins to RNA. D. Proteins to RNA to DNA. Use the image below for the next two questions. Which statement about this diagram is correct? A. Molecule 2 is RNA and it is the only nucleic acid that contains four types of bases. B. Molecule 2 is DNA, which can bond with another DNA molecule. C. Molecule 1 is RNA, which contains thymine. D. Molecule 1 is DNA, which is a double helix. 9. Molecule 1 has the nitrogenous base sequence TCAAGT. Which set of bases in molecule 2 can bond to that sequence in a complementary way? A. AGUUCA. B. AGTACA. C. UCAATA. D. UCAAGU. 10. Which structure is missing from the diagram but helps mRNA and tRNA bind together? A. Nucleus. B. Ribosome. C. Mitochondrion. D. DNA. 11. A piece of mRNA has the code AUGCCAUUGACG. Look at the table. Which amino acids are coded in this strand? A. Isoleucine, glutamic acid, isoleucine, tyrosine. B. Methionine, proline, leucine, threonine. C. Isoleucine, cysteine, asparagine, lysine. D. Methionine, serine, glutamine, tryptophan. 12. Natural selection acts on the variation in populations of living things, usually through a specific trait. Which statement must be true about that trait? A. The trait is the same for all organisms. B. All forms of the trait have the same impact on survival. C. The trait is resistant to mutations. D. The trait is passed on genetically to the next generation. 13. Which situation would most likely result in the greatest change in gene/allele frequency in a population? A. A single individual leaves a large population. B. A bird has two alleles for a certain feather color. C. A large population loses a few individuals. D. A predator eats one phenotype rather than another for a year. 14. Which phrase best defines taxonomy? A. The study of individuals, taxes, accounting. B. The process by which an organism obtains energy. C. The science of classification. D. A group of archaeans that live in deep sea trenches. 15. The species name of the African elephant is Loxodonta africana. What part of the species name is africana? A. Specific epithet. B. Family. C. Genus. D. Domain. 16. After which event could you say that evolution has occurred? A. An allele frequency in a population changes over time. B. An animal's white winter coat is replaced by a darker coat in the spring. C. A new predator comes into an environment. D. An individual is born with 6 fingers on one hand instead of 5. 17. Which situation could lead to the evolution of a population? A. A green parrot has an allele for green feathers and an allele for blue feathers. B. A butterfly population includes both green and yellow butterflies, and a predator sees yellow more easily than it does green. C. A single individual dies in a large population. D. A large population of butterflies grows larger. 18. A bat wing, an alligator leg, and a human arm are homologous structures. How does the presence of homologous structures support one aspect of the theory of evolution? A. The fact that the bone structures are similar supports the theory that the animals shared a common ancestor. B. The fact that the bone structures are similar supports the theory that all of the animals evolved from mammals. C. The fact that the bone structures are completely different supports the theory that those organisms did not share a common ancestor. 19. A population of snails is experiencing disruptive selection in terms of shell patterns. Which graph represents disruptive selection? A. Graph A, B. Graph B, C. Graph C, D. Graph D. 20. An organism new to science was discovered during a recent underwater expedition to the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. The organism is multicellular and its cells contain chloroplasts, a nucleus, and organelles. In which domain would a scientist place this organism? A. Eukarya, B. Bacteria, C. Archaea, D. Animalia. 21. Examine the phylogenetic tree. Of the pairs of organisms listed below, which two would you expect to share the most characteristics? A. Sac fungi and cnidarians, B. Amoebas and sponges, C. Choanoflagellates and cnidarians, D. Cnidarians and sponges. 22. Which structures allow oxygen to move from the lungs into the bloodstream? A. Veins, B. Bronchi, C. Alveoli, D. Arteries. 23. Which of the following is a type of muscle tissue in the human body? A. Humoral, B. Digestive, C. Pulmonary, D. Cardiac. 24. Which activity occurs when a flowering plant reproduces? A. Egg cells move near the petals to catch the pollen. B. Sperm cells swim through the plant stem to reach the egg cells. C. A fertilized egg forms an embryo that is stored inside a seed. D. Pollen grains travel into the fruit to fertilize the embryo. 25. Which gas does the blood carry as it moves from the heart to the lungs? A. Carbon dioxide, B. Oxygen, C. Carbon monoxide, D. Nitrogen. 26. Study the diagram. In which order does oxygen flow through the human circulatory system? A. From 3 to 4 to 2, B. From 5 to 3 to 1, C. From 1 to 2 to 4, D. From 2 to 1 to 5. 27. When something touches you, neurons in your nervous system carry the information to your brain. In what form is information carried through the nervous system? A. In the form of myosin and actin, B. As carrier proteins, C. As enzymes, D. As electrical and chemical signals. 28. Two muscles are required to move a bone. What happens inside muscles when they contract? A. Calcium combines with ATP to produce sarcomeres. B. Actin produces myosin and ATP. C. Myosin heads attach to actin binding sites and pull on actin filaments. D. Calcium produces contractions. 29. Which statement best describes the difference between the life cycles of plants and animals? A. Plants have a one-part life cycle and are entirely diploid. Humans spend their lives in a haploid phase. B. Plants have a two-part life cycle, spending part of their life in the diploid phase and part in the haploid phase. Humans spend their lives in a diploid phase and produce gametes that are haploid. C. Plants have a one-part life cycle and are entirely haploid. Humans have a two-part life cycle, spending part of their life in a diploid phase and part in a haploid phase. D. Different plants have a different number of phases in their life cycle. Humans always have two phases in their life cycle. 30. What is the function of the human immune system? A. To produce red blood cells within bone marrow. B. To regulate enzymes involved in growth and development. C. To regulate the production of hormones within the body. D. To defend the body from invading pathogens. 31. When an antibody attaches to a virus, what occurs afterward? A. The virus is destroyed. B. The antibody turns into a macrophage. C. The virus replicates. D. The antibody turns into a T cell. 32. What do B cells do? A. Eat dead cells. B. Produce antibodies. C. Cause inflammation. D. Destroy bacteriophages. 33. Which of the following is an abiotic factor you might find in a desert? A. A primary consumer. B. Sand. A. A top predator. D. A snake. 34. Plants and animals require energy to live. Which statement best describes the difference between the way plants and animals obtain energy? A. Producers such as plants do not require a source of energy. Animals must consume food for energy. B. Plants produce ATP during photosynthesis. Animals produce ATP during digestion. C. Both plants and animals absorb food from their surroundings. D. Plants produce glucose that can be broken down by cellular respiration. Animals digest foods to obtain glucose for use in cellular respiration. 35. Which two factors would a biologist need to know to identify an ecosystem? A. The biotic and abiotic factors in the area. B. The populations and individuals that live in the area. C. The weather and climate in the area. D. The plants and animals in the area. 36. A biologist is studying a food chain in an ecosystem. In the food chain, wolves eat foxes, the foxes eat rabbits, and the rabbits eat grasses. Which of those four groups of organisms is on the trophic level that holds the least amount of energy? A. The foxes. B. The wolves. C. The rabbits. D. The grasses. 37. Which statement describes a part of the water cycle? A. Once water enters the ocean, it remains there as salt water. B. Water from the atmosphere is transpired by clouds. C. Plants give off water through transpiration. D. Water from outer space evaporates and falls to the earth as precipitation. 38. Which organisms hold the largest amount of energy in most ecosystems? A. Secondary consumers. B. Tertiary consumers. C. Decomposers. D. Producers. 39. Which of the following is an accurate example of how energy flows through organisms in an ecosystem? A. From eagle to rabbit to grass. B. From sun to tree to caterpillar. C. From grass to mouse to grasshopper. D. From sun to bird to worm. 40. Study the photographs below. Assume that all of the topsoil in the area was buried under ash after a volcanic eruption. Which process does this series of photographs best represent? A. Primary succession. B. Climate change. C. Pollution. D. Secondary succession. 41. Extra credit. What was the day and time for the Biology Live Class Connect session this school year? A. Monday, 2 p.m. Mountain Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time. B. Tuesday, 11 a.m. Mountain Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. C. Wednesday, 11 a.m. Mountain Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. D. Thursday, 11 a.m. Mountain Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. E. Thursday, 2 p.m. Mountain Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time.